Have you noticed a change in yourself? A shift in your social landscape that you didn't quite plan for? Perhaps parties you once enjoyed now feel like a chore. Phone calls you used to make out of obligation now feel like a drain on your energy. You find yourself choosing the quiet company of a book or a walk in nature over a crowded room. And maybe, just maybe, a small voice inside has asked, "Am I becoming antisocial? Am I becoming a recluse?" I am here today to tell you to quiet that voice. What you are experiencing is not a social decline. It is one of the most profound and powerful transformations of a long life. You are not becoming antisocial. You are becoming wise. You are not withdrawing. You are curating. You are no longer willing to trade your precious peace for the noise of the world. Welcome to Blessed Elderly. Today, we are going to explore the 6 powerful truths behind this great withdrawal. These are the reasons why, after 70, your tolerance for nonsense evaporates, and your desire for authenticity becomes non-negotiable. This isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that you have finally learned what truly matters. So, let's explore this beautiful evolution together, and by the end, you will not only understand your own instincts better, but you will honor them as the hard-earned wisdom they truly are. If you found this video uplifting, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more content that celebrates a life of vitality at any age. 1. The death of small talk. Your allergy to superficiality. Remember a time when you could effortlessly chat for an hour about the weather, celebrity gossip, or your neighbor's new car. That was a skill you learned, a social lubricant required to navigate workplaces, parties, and family gatherings. But after 70 years on this earth, you've earned a doctorate in what is real and what is fluff. And small talk is the ultimate fluff. Your patience for it hasn't just worn thin. You've developed a deep, almost allergic reaction to it. Why? Because you now operate on a different currency: time. You are acutely aware that your time is finite and profoundly precious. Wasting it on conversations that have no heart, no substance, and no meaning feels like a profound theft of your remaining energy. You've lived through real history, navigated complex relationships, overcome genuine hardship, and gathered a lifetime of stories. You crave conversations that reflect that depth. You want to talk about life's lessons, share wisdom, explore ideas, and connect on a level that actually nourishes your soul. Richard, a 73-year-old retired teacher, used to be the life of the party. Now, he finds himself at social gatherings feeling completely disconnected, listening to chatter about things that won't matter in 5 minutes, let alone 5 years. He's not being rude when he retreats to a quiet corner. He's practicing self-preservation. He has realized that the silence of his own thoughts is infinitely more fulfilling than the noise of an empty conversation. This isn't loneliness. It's a conscious choice for substance over static. 2. The energy audit. The wisdom of protecting your peace. In your youth, you likely had an abundance of emotional and mental energy. You could afford to spend it freely on dramatic friends, on demanding colleagues, on people who took far more than they ever gave. Your emotional bank account was flush. But after 70, you've become a master accountant of your own energy. You conduct a constant, subconscious energy audit on every interaction and every relationship. You can feel almost instantly when a person or a conversation is going to be a net withdrawal. These are the emotional vampires, the chronic complainers, the drama magnets, the takers who see you merely as an audience for their endless monologue. In the past, you might have felt a sense of duty to listen, to help, to absorb their negativity. But now, the wisdom of age has given you a powerful gift, the permission to say no. Not necessarily with your words, but with your presence. You simply refuse to allow anyone to drain your account. Margaret, 75, was the designated helper for her entire life. She was the one everyone called, and she would drop everything. But when she faced her own struggles, the phone was silent. The day she realized this wasn't a friendship but a transaction was the day she became free. She didn't become bitter. She became discerning. She now invests her energy only in those who provide a mutual return of care and respect. She feels lighter and more at peace than ever before, because her energy is finally her own. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It is the ultimate act of self-respect. 3. The end of unequal equations. Rejecting one-sided relationships. This is a painful but liberating realization that often comes with age. You look back and see with perfect clarity the relationships where you were the only one putting in the work. You were the one who always called first, who always made the plans, who always remembered the birthdays. You were the giver, the initiator, the emotional caretaker of the connection. For years, you may have told yourself that this was just your role, that it was okay, but now you're done. You're tired of chasing people who wouldn't cross the street for you. You have stopped watering dead plants. Helen, at 76, performed a quiet experiment. She had a list of old friends she diligently called every month to check in. One day, she simply stopped initiating. She waited. The silence was deafening. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Not a single one of those friends called to see if she was okay. The truth was stark and painful, but it was also freeing. She wasn't mourning the loss of a friendship. She was mourning the illusion of one that had never truly existed. When you stop investing your precious energy in these unequal equations, something beautiful happens. You create a vacuum, and that space is quickly filled by the people who do genuinely care, the ones who will make the effort. You trade a large circle of acquaintances for a small, fortified circle of true, mutual connections. And that, you've learned, is worth more than gold. 4. The sanctuary of solitude. Cherishing your own company. In a world that pathologizes being alone, you have discovered one of life's greatest secrets. There is a profound difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is a painful lack of connection. Solitude is the peaceful, chosen state of being connected with yourself. For decades, your life was likely filled with noise and obligations, the demands of a career, a partner, children, and a household. Quiet moments to yourself were a rare luxury. Now, that luxury is something you can claim every single day. In solitude, you don't have to perform. You don't have to adjust your personality to fit the room. You don't have to smile when you don't feel like it. You can simply be. Eleanor, 74, spent her life as a social organizer, filling her calendar with events she thought she should attend. It was exhausting. One day, she asked herself a simple question. Why am I doing this? The answer was that she was afraid of what people would think if she said no. That question was the key to her liberation. She started declining invitations, not out of spite, but in favor of an evening with her books, her garden, and her own thoughts. She discovered that she was, in fact, fantastic company. She wasn't cutting people out. She was finally inviting herself in. When you prefer your own company to the company of those who drain you, it is the ultimate sign of self-love and emotional maturity. You have found a sanctuary within yourself. 5. Emotional sovereignty. The freedom of no longer needing approval. Of all the freedoms that age bestows, this is perhaps the most glorious. It is the shedding of a weight you may have, carried for 50 or 60 years, the need for other people's approval. Think of all the energy you once spent worrying. What will they think of my outfit? Did I say the wrong thing? Do they like me? Am I living up to their expectations? It was a prison of second-guessing, a life lived for an external audience. Then, one day, you wake up and realize the profound truth. Most people are far too busy worrying about themselves to be judging you. And even if they are, you've reached a point where their opinion holds no power over your peace. You have, at long last, achieved emotional sovereignty. Richard, at 76, had this epiphany. For decades, he had tailored his personality to please his family and colleagues. He silenced his own opinions to maintain a false harmony. The result was a life that felt like it belonged to someone else. He decided he was done. He started speaking his mind, dressing for his own comfort, and making choices based on his own values. The world didn't end. In fact, the people who mattered respected him more for his authenticity. This is true freedom. The freedom to be unapologetically yourself, knowing that your own approval is the only one that truly matters. You are no longer a candidate seeking election into the good graces of others. You are the sovereign ruler of your own life. 6. The conservation of energy. Aligning your body with your mind. Finally, there is a simple, practical, and biological reason for this great withdrawal. Your physical energy is a finite resource, and your body is now sending you clear signals about how to best conserve it. Socializing, especially with loud, dramatic, or demanding people, is not just mentally draining. It is physically exhausting. It raises your cortisol levels, tenses your muscles, and can genuinely leave you feeling physically depleted the next day. Your wise 70-something body has learned that it can no longer afford to spend its precious physical energy on interactions that don't bring joy or peace. You have a limited budget of energy each day, and you'd rather spend it on a walk, time with a beloved grandchild, working in your garden, or pursuing a hobby that enriches you. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of profound intelligence. It is your body and mind finally working in perfect harmony, agreeing that energy should be reserved for what is essential, beautiful, and true. You are aligning your physical reality with your emotional wisdom, and it is a powerful act of self-care.